I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm making and I don't know what I'm really spending. And yeah, I think you're
I've been
right.
in that spot before where it's been like,
That's
okay,
so
so
embarrassing to admit. Like,
it's not.
oh,
No, it's not because it's like, when would you have been taught this stuff in school? No. College? No. Nobody teaches you this shit unless you actively seek it out or unless you happen to start a successful business and you run into these challenges. It's the only time you would ever be forced to learn this. Nobody just seeks out bookkeeping courses. There's even a bookkeeping class in college. Anyways, I digress. Get off my soapbox. You're in a spot that is a good problem to have. Trust me. It's a good problem to have because you just need to fix a few things and then you can get to the next level in business. It's really that simple. So the reason why I brought up bookkeeper in the beginning is because there is a core foundation of principles in your business that if they aren't strong, it's really, really hard to grow. I am pumped to talk to you. It sounds like you have an awesome business, so I've been looking forward to this all day.
I am excited because I have been stressed out because I feel like
Dude.
I'm over my head, and Pinterest keeps sending your shit my way. So I'm just like, maybe this is the sign. Amber, quit ignoring it. Start asking for help. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. So that's where we're at with things.
Oh God, I know all those feelings
Basically, it
so
just
well.
grew a lot faster than I expected it to,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I was really comfortable for the first couple of years, just kind of like paying the bills,
Yeah.
and like not feeling like I had to work. I had enough staff, like
Mm-hmm.
a couple girls that I was 1099ing. And last year was the first year, even through 1099s, that we did like 139 in sales and I had
Wow.
42 in payroll. So it was really, really, I mean, obviously there's expenses in there and stuff, but I mean, that's still, we almost cracked 6 figures, before write-offs and stuff. So it was a big year for us. And this year we're projected without any added jobs. We're already projected at 109. So
Awesome.
obviously I'm adding more staff. And if I plan to hire, if I double my staff, then I'll double those numbers, right?
Yes.
So either way, I don't know what I'm doing as far as finances go because I do have like a business bank account. Through that business bank account, I probably am not doing stuff the right way because I just have all my bills set on auto pay through there.
Mm-hmm.
Like my phone bill, my car payment, like electric bill, everything just comes out of that account on auto pay. I don't know why. I have another regular checking account. I feel like after watching your videos, it's like keep them separate. And I'm like, I definitely don't do that. I definitely don't do that.
It's okay.
And I feel like I've been fine, but now that like Uncle Sam's going to be watching me a little bit closer, I'm like, I should probably like dot my I's and cross my T's a little better because my chicken scratch is probably not going to get me by anymore. So.
Okay, fair. Where are you located? At what state?
Colorado. I've been in Colorado for about 8 years. I'm a south side of Chicago girl, born and raised, and we moved out here about 8 years ago.
Rad. That's awesome.
So,
how long have you had the business?
I started it the year we moved out here. I was a solo cleaner from 2013 up until 2018, 2019-ish, really.
Okay, so that's when you started hiring employees, around 2018.
Well, yeah, independent contractors.
Yeah, I feel you.
And then after 2020 started happening, we lost a couple of our independent contractors, and I started getting unemployment letters and notices that I may be misclassifying employees. So this year I just decided to W-2 everybody.
Gotcha. Okay, so now you have payroll set up and you've got payroll taxes and payroll expenses and payroll systems. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of added expenses. And I in general have a lot of expenses as a person. I started another business before, like a retail thing that flopped. So I have like 26 grand in credit card debt that I'm trying to like navigate my way through paying that down.
Yeah.
And because I'm so smart, I bought a brand new truck in 2020.
Feel you.
Because I was like, that's what I am gonna do, which I mean, in hindsight, probably could have found a more affordable vehicle. But that $731 hits hard every month.
Oh, yeah,
So.
It does. Yeah, no doubt. I feel you. That's super cool that you saw my content on Pinterest, by the way. I had no idea it was reaching people out there, and that is super cool.
Oh, it's all over there. Like, it's literally all over Pinterest. Like that. Awesome. I see it every day to the point where I'm like, okay, I should probably just figure something out.
All right, cool. What do you think it is that I would be able to help you with?
So my biggest thing is, like I said, for your three wishes, like I just want to have a better understanding of what I'm actually supposed to be doing with my bank account, how separate it should be,
Mhm.
how I don't have to pay them all of my money in taxes. I've been really kind of intrigued by this whole S-Corp thing.
Mhm.
And I also did some research and realized like I could apply for one of those within like the next couple of months and backdate it for like last year so I don't F myself.
Yeah.
But like I just don't know if you can help me like understand all of this, because I did not go to like college for any, like I did some super basic gen eds at college, like community college. I decided I was not going to be a nurse, so I stopped after I took my
Mm.
gen eds because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I was pregnant, had my first daughter, and then my husband got out of the military. We moved to Colorado, so like school was just not on my radar for a
Yeah.
while. And then I just kind of like fell into this business. And so my hope really is just to have a better understanding of my financials,
Mhm.
um, and just how to run a business in general, like the
Yeah, no
best
doubt.
proper way to do it, and how to like save myself money in taxes, save for kids. I do have two kids. I have a 10-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Okay, rad.
um, so I'm hoping that you can help kind of like fill in the gaps of like just the basic knowledge of what I don't have, because I didn't
Mhm.
go to school for any of this stuff. I kind of just, I'm YouTube University kind of gal.
Hell yeah, me
So
too.
I
I love it.
mean, it is what it is.
Yep. Okay. I totally identify where you're at because I was there too. 100%. Same feelings, same situation. My wife was in nursing school, got pregnant, dropped out, now works for our businesses. Like I totally understand where you're coming from because there's like this certain level you can't grow your business to unless you sort out like the foundation. And one of the
Yeah, and I
aspects.
feel like we could grow. I feel like we could grow,
Mhm.
but I feel like I'm holding us back almost because I'm like scared of it like growing beyond something that I can understand. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, like I don't want it
Mhm.
to grow and then like flop because I just was ignorant and didn't know what I didn't know. You know what I mean?
Yep. 100%. The last thing you want to do is like grow, grow, grow and take on a bunch of clients and then like have some like mis like a calculation error and realize like, oh shit, I didn't charge enough. I'm not making any money. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, like that's like one of the worst case scenarios, but there's all kinds of stuff that can happen. So I totally identify with that. And so basically you're in a situation now where it's been growing. You're in Colorado, not Oregon.
Yeah.
And you started out as a cleaner yourself, and then as you were like, okay, well, I need more time, more of my time back, so I'm gonna start getting some employees to work with me. You charge the client a little bit more than what you pay them, and it starts to work. And that can
Yeah.
work in the very beginning. It totally can. But then you start getting into payroll classifications and unemployment stuff, and you start getting a little bit bigger, and it's a little bit harder just to kind of, slip by. And then when it comes time to really get bigger, and if you're not knowing like what your profits are, what your expenses are, what your balance
And
sheet
that's
details
it. Like
are,
that's
like
it. And that's why I
it's
feel like
hard.
such an idiot, because like I watched all your videos and you talk about like most business owners don't know their numbers. And I would be a damn liar if I said that I've opened my QuickBooks in the last 6 months. I have no
Fair.
idea.
Totally
I
fair.
don't open it because I don't know what to do with it. Everything syncs from my CRM and my invoicing software, so it's all in there. But so is all of my auto pay bills. And so like I'm just so overwhelmed because I don't know what I'm doing.
Cool. Let's talk about that. Let's first talk about how to get you less overwhelmed. Because not everybody is going to be a bookkeeper. Not everybody's going to be opening their software. Some people just aren't built for that. I fucking hate it. I hate it. So you know what I did? I hired a bookkeeper and it cost me like $200 a month. It's easy. And they handle it all for me. And at the end of the month, they send me a profit and loss and a balance sheet. My account balances match what it says in my accounting software, in my QuickBooks, and everything's good. But you just need to find someone to help, like, take care of that aspect for you. Instead of trying to make one of your weaknesses mediocre, just focus on your superpowers, which is running your business, and get some help. But then it's like, like what exactly do we need? What kind of help do we need? So do you have anyone helping you with your books or doing your taxes for you now?
So I've had the same lady doing our taxes for like the last 6 or 7 years. Like she's done like our
Okay.
personal taxes and our business taxes. She does a great job, but like a couple years ago, I had asked her about moving to W-2s and she had advised me not to, probably because it's just a lot more and maybe I wasn't there financially yet. But like I said, when I started getting like those misclassification letters, I just felt like I probably should switch to it. And now that we are getting bigger, she just did all of my 1099s and stuff, but she doesn't really handle like my regular bookkeeping stuff. She just really does our taxes and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Typically,
But
it's two different people, a bookkeeper on
yeah.
one and then tax preparer on the other. Sometimes tax preparers will do books, but it's just rare because it's a different type of work. And it's easy to outsource. So what you really need is you really need to get the right person in the right seat. And that's what's really important for your business. Like you can't have the wrong person.
And I
in
think
the wrong
I'm
seat.
recognizing the delegating aspect, like I need to delegate, but I think I'm almost just scared of that because in the last month, I've started adding on a lot of software and like I got this new system that links with my CRM and my invoicing and scheduler to be put on my website so people can physically go to my website, get an instant bid, and then it reads my calendar and correctly dispatches it based off of location, availability, like all kinds of stuff. It's basically saves me a
Okay.
lot of time from doing in-home quotes and just wasting my time with people calling me for quotes that maybe they are not interested in, or me getting suckered because I have a big heart and feeling bad for these like old people all the time that call me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you get a quote online, the quote is the quote. Yeah, the quote is
Yep.
the quote. So
Yeah.
I felt like that would be great to automate that, but then all of a sudden that wouldn't integrate with my website correctly. So now I'm
Mhm.
spending $200 a month for that software, and I have to get a new website built, and that's costing me $200 a month for the next 2 years. And now, now I'm paying payroll tax, so I feel like I'm just overwhelmed, and like I feel like I do need a bookkeeper, but I'm just like I'm taking on all of these extra expenses right now, like in the last 45 days that I'm just like, am I doing too much too fast? I'm just scared to switch so much so fast, if that makes sense. I don't know. But I think I do need a bookkeeper. I think you're right. I just don't know where else to delegate that.
Yeah. What's your profit ratio right now? That's exactly
Okay.
why
So
we need a bookkeeper.
I
Because if we don't know how much
know.
money we have to spend, we can't effectively allocate it into the right buckets.
And that's where I'm at. That's
Yeah.
where I'm at.
Because
It's
you
like I'm
very well
spending
could be.
and I don't know. I could be doing great. I could
Mm-hmm.
be doing great. Like it says that, we had 12 or $13 in sales this month, 12 or $13,000 in sales this month. So realistically, with my hourly rate, like what I charge people, we have almost like a 50% margin on some things,
Great.
50 to 60% margins. Like they're great margins. Like I'm not
Mm-hmm.
underpricing, that's
Good.
for sure. But I still don't know how much I'm making. And like I said, I have a lot of bills every month. So I'm like scared to spend because
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm making and I don't know what I'm really spending. And yeah, I think you're
I've been
right.
in that spot before where it's been like,
That's
okay,
so
so
embarrassing to admit. Like,
it's not.
oh,
No, it's not. Because it's like, when would you have been taught this stuff? In school? No. College? No. Nobody teaches you this shit unless you actively seek it out or unless you happen to start a successful business and you run into these challenges. It's the only time you would ever be forced to learn this. Nobody just seeks out bookkeeping courses. There's even a bookkeeping class in college. Anyways, I digress. Get off my soapbox. You're in a spot that is a good problem to have. Trust me. It's a good problem to have because you just need to fix a few things and then you can get to the next level in business. It's really that simple. So the reason why I brought up bookkeeper in the beginning is because there is a core foundation of principles in your business that if they aren't strong, it's really, really hard to grow. The first one is ownership and the legal status of your company. Is it you or do you have it separated out in an LLC? I'll just ask you now, do you have an LLC for it?
yeah.
Cool. So you've separated the business out, you've got an EIN, and you have a business bank account. You know that. And so that part of the foundation is solid. Now we just need to figure out like the way the money is moving. The way the money is moving right now is a little bit broken from how it should be to allow you to grow better. I just want to briefly touch on it really quick. So when you have the business separated from yourself, the way that you do it is like you're doing now. You have all the money come into your business bank account and you spend all that business money and business expenses whenever you have something that's regular and necessary for your business, like a cleaning business, all that stuff. Spend it out of the business account like you have been doing. But eventually we need money to spend on our mortgage and on toothpaste and on our kids and, investing in our own Roth IRAs and for our own colleges, for our own kids' college retirements, stuff like that. And so that's when we need to take money out of the business and put it in our personal account. And we need to take an owner's draw. And an owner's draw is simply transferring some of the profits of your business into your personal account so you can spend it on personal stuff. And that's one of the first changes I would suggest making is anytime you want to spend money on your truck payment, anytime you want to spend money on personal expenses, take the money out of your business, transfer it to your personal account, and then spend your personal money on it.
So even if I'm trying to write off the truck as a business expense?
You still can.
Because I really only drive it, like my daughter's school is literally a half a mile away. That's the only driving I do other
Just
than
leave
my
the truck.
business.
Just leave the truck in your business expense.
Okay.
Yeah, you're clearly
Perfect.
only using it mainly for business. It's also regular and necessary for you to get to job sites and things like that. So it's totally okay.
Okay.
All right. We're just talking about like getting money for rent, getting money for your mortgage and stuff like that. It just helps to keep things separate so you know what's what. Plus, if you ever want to become an S-Corp and you're spending personal money out of your business account, then it will bring down the whole house of cards. It just collapses everything because it's called piercing the veil. You're not respecting the difference between your business and yourself. So the IRS is going to be like, if you don't respect it, why the fuck should we?
Right.
And then just charge you taxes on all of it. So then that begs the question of really getting a handle on your expenses. And it's like doing a personal budget, but instead we just have someone manage it for us on a monthly basis because it's overwhelming for most people. And what they'll do is they'll go into your QuickBooks and they'll make sure that all the money in your books matches the money in your accounts. And they'll separate all the expenses in the right categories for you. Payroll, things like that. A good bookkeeper will also run payroll for you. And they'll set up your payroll software, either Gusto or QuickBooks or whatever you're using.
We use Paychecks.
Cool.
Paychecks. Yeah. I had heard about Gusto and I was thinking about trying them, but then I heard that they kind of like make you do a lot of the like certain tax stuff that I didn't want to do. So
I feel you.
I hope Paychecks doesn't screw me.
Yep. Well, you filed your taxes last year, right?
Yeah. Well, for 2020. Yeah. I haven't filed my 2021 ones yet.
Cool.
Yeah.
So there's also another option which builds off of what we've been talking about. And that is basically like hiring a company to be your own personal accounting department for you. And I know you have a lot of monthly expenses right now, but just hear me out, okay? We talked about bookkeeping. We talked about tax prep. We talked about tax filing. And we talked about running payroll. Those are like 4 important things that are like must-dos for your business. There's a group called Collective that does all of that stuff for you. They manage your bookkeeping, they manage your payroll, they do your tax prep for you, and tax filing. They also set up S-Corps so that you can save way more money in taxes. And the average person that uses them saves like $9,000 just like that from making the switch and everything. They're only like $200 to $300 a month. And they're super affordable, and they can be the solution that you might need. And so after this call, I'll send you an email with like a couple different people that you can talk to and see if they're a good fit for you.
Perfect.
Just to get that stuff squared away.
I know I need to do something with it because I keep saying like I'll learn to do it, but I haven't learned to do it yet.
I feel you. Maybe you should just learn enough so that you can make sure you're not getting taken advantage of. That's how I do it. I learn enough about bookkeeping I don't know general accounting practices and reconciliation techniques and all this shit, but I know enough to know who to hire, if that makes any sense.
So, I mean, as far as like separating the business and personal account, would you recommend at this point just taking out like my bare minimum expenses, like figuring out exactly how much my bills are each month and just paying myself that? Because
I could actually do that plus like 10%. And then I would set up a Roth IRA for you and your husband each. And then I would start trying to put some money away.
Stash, and I don't even know if that's any good. I really don't know any. My friend suggested Stash, so I literally just signed up for it recently. I also did like the kids' accounts through there.
Cool.
I don't even really know what it is. I just set up like an auto drafting for it, but
we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's go back to your other question because I don't want to get derailed real quick. So yeah, basically figure out how much your monthly expenses are for you personally, and then just take that money out of your bank account, transfer it in your personal account, and you're good. Now you've effectively separated the two.
Okay. I guess that was just like tough because I was like, I don't know how much to pay myself. And then I'm one of those people where like, I don't spend any money for a while. And then all of a sudden it's like, I'm going to go spend $500 today. And I feel like it's so stupid. I'm like, I'm so proud of myself. I haven't spent any money. And then it's like, there's $1,000 gone. So,
I feel you.
I just don't know how much to pay myself. And I don't want to spend too much and then like get myself in a pickle. So
the whole point of our businesses is to make money for ourselves. and to create jobs and to move the economy forward and, just create wealth. That's what we do as entrepreneurs. We solve problems. The bigger the problem we solve, the more we get paid for it. Your job is, it is like recession proof. It's a solid, I talk about cleaning and local service-based businesses all the time. Because if you can effectively figure out, like, standardize your operations, like put together SOPs and like trainings for all your employees, and everybody does everything exactly the same and it's all systematized, it's really easy to scale, and it is a super, super lucrative business. It's really cool.
Yeah, it definitely is there. And it's one of those businesses where you do have to constantly be hiring, because as soon as I get one girl trained and I get her schedule filled, as new clients come in, I need more girls. Otherwise, the schedules are always filled. Like, we're booking 2 months out right now. I need more people.
Yep.
So it is a great business to be in. But like you said, I can't scale it at this point the way I'm operating. I'm holding it back because I just don't know what I'm doing. So I am interested in this collective. I think it's just one of those things where I have to spend money to make money, and sometimes that's scary, but
Yeah, it
I
is.
keep trying to tell myself, like, that's one house a month, like $200 to $300. It's one house a month. So
Yeah, I feel you on that. I mean, just remember, sales cure everything. And so if you have sales coming in, you have the money to be able to solve the problems. So you keep making sales and then start putting capital, like allocating capital, spending your money on the things that give you the most stress, so you can lower your stress and have a more clear head. Once you have a clearer picture of what's going on and your head's more clear and you're less stressed, you can make better decisions. And so it all builds on top of each other. And in my opinion, sorting out and being organized in terms of financially is one of the best things you can ever do for your business, and is 100% worth it.
Oh, and I know it is. Like, I know that it's like, and that's why it's embarrassing, because it's like, as a business owner, it should be the number one priority. I should know all of these numbers, you know what I mean? And like you said, I was just uneducated on it. And that's just as embarrassing to say, that you're uneducated on something that you don't know what you're doing. But obviously I know enough to get me this far, but
I think you've done an amazing job so far. I think that's I think it's impressive. Yeah, you should. It's definitely nothing to scoff at, having employees, making profits, building the business that you have. Most people can't even get that far. So yeah, we'll just tighten up a few things. No big deal.
So, I mean, as far as your entire business school, do you think it would be beneficial? Do you think that there is stuff that I could still learn within there, or do you think I'd be better off?
Well, let's see.
What is your suggestion moving forward, I suppose?
The whole point of me creating that business school was to help people that were in my position and didn't go to school, didn't know how to start their business, and they wanted to learn how to legally do it the right way and build that solid foundation I've been talking to you about. And so I talked to you about, how to get the ideas out of your head and write a good solid business plan, and how to get your LLC and what banks to use, and how to get your EINs, and how to file and pay quarterly taxes, how to take write-offs, and how to understand and how to organize things, and how to work with payroll, and eventually how to create your S-Corp so that you can save a ton of money. And so I think you would get a ton of value seeing hand drawings and getting, explanations done by me. But, you might not get a ton of value out of the very beginning of it, because, you already have a few things set up.
That's kind of where I was looking at it, and I was like, I'm halfway through your roadmap. And I'm like, that's what sucks. I'm like,
yeah, totally.
Am I going to find value? But the way I looked at it is, I was like, the end half of it, that's the part that I don't know any of that stuff. So.
Look, if I put myself in your position, empathize with you here, let's see. Instead of spending $500 on my business school, I would rather see you spend $200 to $300 in getting a bookkeeper and things squared away financially. I think it would be more beneficial. That's what I would spend my money on.
I appreciate that honesty for sure. Yeah, and I mean, I definitely feel like that's the biggest thing holding me back, is just that I'm not understanding that bookkeeping stuff. So
yeah, you would go through my business school and you'd be like, yeah, I need a bookkeeper and I need to get this squared away, and you would get the exact same lessons that you're getting now from me, and that would be the big takeaway for you. So let's just skip the business school and go straight to that.
Okay, awesome. Well, I definitely appreciate that. As far as the Roth IRA, like I said, I don't know if you know about that stash. Is that something I should find a different company for, or is that?
Roth IRAs are the same no matter where you get them. You can only have one of them. It's a tax-free account. You put money into it and you get all the money when you're 60, tax-free. And the only requirements to have one is that you make money. And so you can have one, your husband can have one, your kids can't have one though, because your kids aren't making any money yet. And so the whole point of the Roth IRA is to put money away now so that you can have it tax-free when you retire. And so what I do with my Roth IRA is I put $6,000 a year into it, which is the max. And then I invest it in the total stock market. It's called VTI. It's basically buying a piece of every single stock in the US. And then I just park it and I let it sit. And in 30 years or so, there'll be over $1 million by doing that. And that's $500 a month or $6,000 a year that you put into those accounts. And it's just a hedge against, in the future, you not having as much money as you intended. And I think that every single person in the US should have one because it's a no-brainer.
So is that basically, I'm wondering if that's what Stash is doing then?
You would have to go in and look. Typically, when you put cash into a Roth IRA, you then have to choose something to buy with it. What type of stocks you want to buy, what type of stuff you want to buy. And so if you haven't chosen what you want to purchase in Stash, then it hasn't been done for you. But then again, I don't know.
EFTs. Is that?
Oh, ETFs? Yeah.
It says long-term mix.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you would assume that it would be? It says my top holdings are for a long-term mix, which is 80% of the portfolio, and whatever this happy medium that they call it is medium-sized U.S. companies, generally worth under $10 billion.
Okay, so what they've done is
like what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You're invested in that type of stuff. So Stash has its own types of investments where you buy their investment and that's what you're invested in. But I don't ever buy anything like that. Because it depends on what the fees are. A lot of times in those managed funds, there's fees. And even a fee of 1% to 2% would mean the difference between millions of dollars when you're done. And so we want to make sure that there's less than 1% in fees for any asset that you buy. And so that's why my Roth IRA has only VTI in it, Vanguard Total Stock Index. And the fees are less than 0.1%.
And then where do you recommend getting that through, though?
You can go pretty much through anywhere. Roth IRAs, like I said, are the same no matter where you go. Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard are all good accounts to use. I have a few YouTube videos on how to set that stuff up if you're interested in. But if you set up your Roth IRA now, Amber, you and your husband, you will literally have millions of dollars by the time you're like 60.
See, and that's why I get so mad at us, because we had an IRA when we first got married, and that was when my husband was in the military, and we pulled the $25,000 that we had saved and used that to move to Colorado. And then now my husband's got like 15 or 18,000 saved up in there again, and we're about to pull it out to buy a house. And you know what I mean? So it's like I feel like we're just not getting ahead.
You'll get ahead if you sort out your books for your business, and then you'll learn how much money you can start taking off it and where to optimize, and you will get to $500,000 in revenue. You could get to $500,000 in revenue by the end of the year, no problem, if you just sort out your books so you know how to scale it.
I appreciate that. Well, I definitely appreciate your time.
Of course. I'm
interested in definitely this collective, and I will keep watching your videos, so thank you.
Of course. I'm going to send you 2 emails, or I'm going to send you an email after the call. Let me just make a note of it really quick. I'm going to send you some links to some bookkeepers, some CPAs, and collective so that you can check them out and find out whatever's a good fit and just run with it. If you have any questions, just hit me up on Instagram or something, and I got you.
I appreciate it.
Have a great day, okay?
Bye.
Bye.